Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to continue talking about my current project of coding the combat system for a viewer's game. In particular, we have been coding a system for ammunition, which we haven't completed, but which we've done a couple of important things on since the last video. Specifically, I have added code to display how much ammunition a weapon has, if it is a weapon that requires ammunition, and I have made code that will not display the option to shoot if the weapon in question is out of ammunition. So here we see a combat that I've started. You might notice if you've been following this series that this text is smaller, and actually this picture is smaller as well. That's because of this display. There's a sort of extra line in the display of how much ammunition is left in a weapon, or there is if it's a weapon that uses ammunition. And not so much on this screen, there's plenty of space on this screen, but on the other screen which I use, which is a very small PC laptop, I needed to sort of make things smaller to fit everything on a single screen. Once I added these potentially two extra lines, because you could have two pistols, for example, in your hand. I've also, as a side note, I swapped the pictures for two of the personas, which is what this game calls classes, basically. The influencer and the scoundrel. I thought, actually specifically the male influencer and the male scoundrel. I thought they looked better swapped around. Just while I was redoing the artwork, I thought I'd take the opportunity to do that. But anyway, you can see that it says I've got a pistol, and it tells me that I have 5 shots left in that pistol, and if I had another pistol down here, it would give the ammo for that. And if I swap hands, the ammunition sort of goes with the weapon, which of course is what you'd expect to happen. And down here it says shoot, but I have done code which I have yet to test, but I'm pretty sure that if there was no ammunition in this pistol, I wouldn't have the opportunity to shoot it. So that's not a complete system of ammunition by any means, but we're on our way. So as usual, I'm going to spend the rest of the video showing you the code that allows this to happen. So if we're going to keep track of ammunition, well, obviously we're going to need variables in which we store the amount of ammunition. And specifically, they're probably going to be arrays, because the player character can have a weapon with ammunition, but so can the companions, potentially 2 companions. So that is indeed what I've done. Let's zoom in a little. That's probably enough to see it. And here is the arrays in question. Ammo and ammo underscore offhand. I could have had these in the same array and made it a 2-dimensional array. I could have had this stuff in the same array as the weapon as well and made that a 2-dimensional array, but I chose fairly arbitrarily just to add new arrays. I guess because I already had arrays, I find it easier to add new ones rather than expand a 1-dimensional array into a 2-dimensional array. But it is an arbitrary choice. I'm not saying it's better practice objectively to do it, just whichever one you want, really. So we have ammo, and ammo Z is the amount of ammunition in weapon Z, as this comment says. Weapon Z being the weapon that a given character has in their main hand. And then, of course, we need to keep track of the weapons in offhands, and so we have ammo underscore offhand. And that's exactly the same thing, but it's for the offhand array, which is the array that keeps track of weapons in offhands, as you might expect. So the characters start by default with a pistol, and I decided that they would start with 5 shots. I don't know how many shots a modern pistol has. I don't know very little about guns, but that was just an arbitrary decision and easily changed. But we need to have some value in there anyway. And where is that? I think maybe it's down here where we have weapon. Let's have a look. Yeah, we set up weapon 0 equals 7. That means they have the 7th weapon, which is a pistol. We set ammo 0 equal to 5. We set offhand 0 equal to 0, which means that there's nothing in the... Well, we actually said that. There's a comment down here that says it. But they have 0, and we don't do anything with offhand underscore ammo. We could set it to 0 if we wanted to, but we're not going to consult that array until and unless we have a weapon that uses ammunition anyway. So, and when we do that, it should update there anyway, so there's not a lot of point having an initial value of 0. So I just left it. And similarly, when we set up the companions, we give them the same values. They have the 7th weapon, they have ammo of 5, and they have, as they have had for the last couple of videos, offhand of 0. So a pistol with 5 shots in their main hand, nothing in their offhand. That's fairly straightforward. Displaying it is a little bit less straightforward. You notice I had to change the font size to fit everything in, as I said before. So this is the bit where we print the weapon and the fact that it's two-handed, if it indeed it is. And we have this ammo on a different row, and of course it's within an if, because we're not always going to be saying displaying the ammo. We look at WEA underscore OVR, weapon overview. That's a 2-dimensional array. The first dimension is weapon 0, and the other dimension is 4. And this is a, we discussed this in the previous video. This is a thing that the program automatically sets up in the ammunition passage. It's not in the initial data. And it's just a 1 or a 0, and it indicates whether the weapon has any attack that uses ammunition. If so, it has a value of 1. If not, it has a value of 0. If it has a value of 1, we need to display the ammunition, and that's fairly straightforward. It's a row, a HTML row in a table, 2 empty cells so that it's aligned. Oh, sorry. 2 empty cells so it's aligned properly, and then a third cell which just says bracket ammo and the amount of ammo, and then end bracket. So ammo 5, ammo 0, whatever it might be. And we have to do exactly the same for the offhand weapon. Similarly enclosed within an if. The only difference being that we're looking at this first dimension of the WEA underscore OVR, the weapon overview array. We use the offhand array instead of the weapon array to get which weapon we're talking about. And instead of ammo, we use ammo underscore offhand. So basically the same code, but for the offhand. And the other thing we need to do is the button in player character being the passage which prints all the options that the player character has. And one of those options might be to shoot, or use to shoot their weapon. And we don't want them to be able to shoot their weapon if that particular attack uses ammunition and they don't have any. So we enclose, we've already talked about displaying the button. All we've done is we've wrapped the display in an if. In other words, it only happens some of the time. And when does it happen? Well, it happens, we look at the weapon attack, WEA underscore ATT is weapon attack, and we have the index of that is not numbers, it is text. And specifically, it's the name of the weapon plus a number, actually with a space in between it. So for a shotgun, the attack might be shotgun space 1, shotgun space 2. For a pistol, it's pistol space 1, pistol space 2. Sometimes there's only one attack, but for most cases there's 2. But anyway, we look at weapon attack, for example, pistol 1 or whatever it may be, slot 3, and if that one doesn't equal 2 and doesn't equal 3, then we print it. Or if the player character's ammo array, ammo 0, is greater than 0. So why would we always print if the weapon attack slot 3 doesn't equal 2 and doesn't equal 3? Well, because that particular slot is how that particular attack relates to ammunition. We have this in WEA_ATT because the pistol has one attack that uses ammunition and another attack that doesn't, because you can shoot the pistol, but you can also sort of hit someone with it. So it's a characteristic of the particular attack, not the weapon itself. If you're out of ammunition, you can still pistol whip someone. So slot 3 is how they relate to ammunition, and the options are striking with the weapon, which means that you can do that indefinitely. You can only do it once, like throwing a grenade, or it uses up one unit of ammunition, or it uses up 1 to 6 units of ammunition. And those are the ones that are related to ammunition. So if the attack is a one-off attack or a club type attack or a sword type attack where you're just striking with it, we should always print that option. If it does equal 2 or 3, we should only print the option if there's any ammunition to use. And so that's why that, where is it? There it is. That's why we've got it that way. If it doesn't equal 2 and doesn't equal 3, in other words, it's an attack that's not related to ammunition, or if you have any ammunition. If either of those things are true, then we work out what to print on the button, and we print the button that is that particular option. The other thing we need to do on this passage is that when we swap hands, the ammunition has to change as well. So we've slightly changed this swap hands button, where as well as swapping weapon 0 and offhand 0, we also swap ammo 0 and ammo_offhand 0. Because if you had a pistol in one hand and nothing in the other, and the pistol had 5 bullets in it, and you moved the gun to the different hand, well, the bullets would follow. You wouldn't have the gun in one hand and the bullets in the other. They wouldn't be left behind. So, of course, we need to swap the ammunition levels as well. And so that is that bit of the ammunition system. There's quite a bit we haven't done. We haven't done the companions' ammunition at all. They also shouldn't be able to shoot without ammunition, of course. We haven't done using up ammunition. We haven't done the special spray attacks, which use up 1 to 6 units of ammunition, but also do correspondingly high damage. And we also need to have ammunition in the inventory, because if you stow, at the moment, we haven't done any code that says when you stow a pistol, well, its ammunition goes with it. So we're going to need another array to keep track of the ammunition in inventoried weapons, in weapons that aren't being carried. And that's probably what I'm going to do in my next video. But I will leave it there for now. I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.